So I'm gonna put your cat in the cave under. Is that okay? I know, just cause it's fun. I'm joking. I'm joking. Uh, how much stone do we have? Not a ton. Okay. Okay. Googling. Some of your stuff is done. I'm smelting some cobblestone so I can make stone bricks. What's the shredder thing? What does a stone cutter do? I know where to put this. There we go, there we go. You make stone by smelting, cobblestone. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, iron. Digging straight under our house. And this also gives me an excuse to clear out for a basement. Yeah. Here goes my pickaxe. Do I have another? I do. We can, yeah. La boo boo. La boo la boo la boo boo. Uh, uh-oh. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Thankfully the map's okay. Mhm. I didn't go past the ceiling though. Careful the pillar. And you destroyed the map. No, no, it's up there. It should be in like item form somewhere around the hole by now. Yeah, just to make stone. Come in, Avery. Yeah, she can.
Okay, Garnet, do you have like $2?
No.
Well, come on. Less than 10 minutes.
I'll be right back. Okay, back. My sister is being annoying. I'm joking. I know she heard that. I just said I know you did. Oh, stone cutter, stone cutter. How's it? Yeah. Nope, just stone. You can't do it with cobblestone. I just need regular stone. Bro, you hypocrite. You just told me to not do that. Oh, also get your, is that your steak up in this furnace? Where's the food chest?
Uh,
I love our little butt hut.
yeah, the butt hut, bruh. I'm just putting all our food in the goods chest, but below everything. Okay? Like on the bottom side. So yeah. So yeah. That's about it. Bro, these enchants aren't good. We have a lot of sugar cane, but we need to find. Excuse me. We need to find out how to get a lot of leather. You just want to try and get a cow farm, bruh?
I almost have a stack of stone bricks.
Nice. Are you using stone bricks or just stone?
Stone bricks.
Okay, yeah. Bro, stone bricks are low-key my go-to. Yo, what the frick are you doing? I'm just putting torches across our yard, or like the place, if that's fine. Holy moly. I'm probably gonna go harvest my farm real quick, bruh. Because it is looking juicy.
So, this is our little hut. So, here's the area. Here's our ranch and stuff. So we lived on a mountain, we had to flatten it out.
Wait, look at me, look at me, look at me.
So, top of the mountain, we have another Keep doing that.
Okay.
Here's our sugarcane farms over there. Big. Mountains. There's a spruce forest over there where we get all our wood. Here, there's a dirt bridge over there. There's another dirt bridge over here. More area. Our ranch again. And then we can get to the fun stuff. The butt hut. That's what Simon calls it. No, but apparently there's a butt. So there's the roof. Here's our furnace and chest area. This is my corner. His corner. Banner. Shitsy. It's Simon's cat.
Hey.
And then here's the workroom. We have a stone cutter.
One thing in the world.
And then future basement. This is where we get our stone. And then there's a giant cave under our mountain. We get stone for projects. Like, I'm going to be building a house, and that's going to be replacing our butt hut. And then I'm going to need a lot of stone bricks. So that's why the stone cutter and why we're taking stone.
How do you build a stone cutter? Oh, it's here, it's here, it's here.
Where's the money? Where's the money?
It's on the counter.
Yeah.
Where's the...
I'm back, Simon.
What
I got Combi.
What? Okay, I just harvested my farm, which is doing kind of good. Do we have a dirt quarry place?
I will show you to that right now.
Okay, hold up. Let me get a shovel. Is it like, it's a place, it's like a good place, right? Like, we don't...
Oh, also I installed a new butt wiper.
Okay, bro. The design is very human.
Okay, good. Why do you need dirt?
Just for more land, for my farm, more plot, and then also yeah for future stuff. Hey, we need to get a copper golem, bro.
Right here. Just shave it off the mountain.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Try not to touch these fields over here, because it's pretty.
Yeah. Did you want to? I can do it, but did you want to harvest the sugar cane and then spread it?
I'll help you with that.
Okay.
I'll do a bit of that right now.
Okay. Hold on. I'm just gonna do this until my shovel breaks back. Yeah, the design is very human, bruh. Later we can just have an automatic sugarcane farm, but this also works. Actually, we can do it right. We can technically do it right now. Automatic sugarcane farm.
Oh wow, I got 3 stacks.
Yeah, I have like 3 stacks too, bruh. Okay. You just want to spread it or just like put it in our
Okay, what are we gonna use this for?
books and like whatever? Yeah, basically books. We can do an automatic sugarcane farm later, so I think this is enough, bro. I don't think I want to spread it too much. You know what I mean?
I just like doing this, it looks cool.
Okay, bro. Well, we're gonna need to figure out how to place 3 stacks of it, bruh.
There's a lot of room over here, I'm just saying.
This is like Trump and the Great Wall.
I think it looks cool, and now it's a landmark of our world. We are definitely keeping this.
The sugarcane walls, the sugarcane farm.
Yeah, it's genuinely tough.
It's so tough, bruh. TS so tough.
Okay, I've got sugarcane.
I still have like a whole stack left and a half, bruh. I'll be real with you, I don't know how efficient this is.
Are you still planting?
Yeah.
I'm going back up and putting it in a chest.
Okay.
So why do you want sugarcane?
Just for fun, or for books. Pretty much it.
Oh, okay. Just think next time it's gonna be like 6 stacks.
Yeah, it's basic. It's exponential. TS exponential, bruh.
It looks so cool from our base. Just looking out on it. Wow.
It's like I'm edging. To edge Voltagoon. That is the question. I'll plant the rest of this and then I'll head back. Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty tough up here.
Yeah. Hello, Chitsy. Chitsy. I just like saying the name, bruh. Chitsy. What's good, Chitsy? Okay, I should go back to caving, or to like doing this, bruh. Or actually, I'm probably gonna try and find out how to, or find some cows. Huh?
I will join you.
Alright, bruh. I'm gonna use some of our string. I'm gonna use our string. You can make saddles? Oh my god. Okay. That.
Can you make me one?
I'll make us both one, bruh. I didn't know we could do that. Then we're gonna find a horse and then we're gonna do stuff to them. Cause you know how long. I don't want to say that. You know how long it is.
I will make a stable.
Okay. You know, I'm just gonna grab the gear that I usually grab for like, for adventuring. I grab the furnace, a little, like, a bit of wood, or I'm just gonna get an axe. Okay. I'm probably gonna head out now.
I need 1 second.
Okay. I just called it the butt hut because I wanted to, but I guess you could see it looks like an uneven butt, bruh. Am I right or am I right? Oh, 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 oh. 11.
Okay, where should I make the stable?
I kind of just want to get horses first, bruh.
Okay.
Hold up. Okay. Where we should see, or where is he, bruh? Hey, I'm talking to you.
Dude, what are you doing?
Huh? I thought you were trying to destroy that.
Dang it.
You can use your axe, bruh. Oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do, fatty.
Come on, man.
Wait, what are you trying to do? You're just trying to get that one slab up? Okay, I'm gonna go get a horse now. You cannot afford my diamond sword. Okay. I shall head. I'm gonna head west now, because I don't think we've headed that way, right? Right? I don't know which way we haven't gone yet, so I'm just gonna assume that way.
It's you. Are you adventuring?
Yeah, I'm adventuring and looking for a horse. Oh, that's kind of nice.
I actually think I might go. I kind of want to just eat and watch YouTube, to be honest. Is that okay with you? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna go. Feel free to get a horse.
Yeah, bro. Later, Gator.
Later. Bye.
I guess I'll stream me getting horse, bro, to be honest. I just stream it. And then I probably gotta go read, so once I find a horse, I'll just head back. Look at those mountains growing. Bro, I probably just watched somebody, bro. Let's see.
In the approximately 3.7 billion years that Earth has harbored life, it has experienced its fair share of some pretty messed up stuff. This has included asteroid impacts, solar storms, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, fires, droughts, and everything in between. Most of the time, such events don't actually have any profound impacts on life, but a few times they do, resulting in an extinction event, which can be simply described as being a widespread and rapid loss in biodiversity. And so far, scientists have identified about 31 extinction events that have taken place in the last few billions of years. Obviously, we are most likely missing a few, but suffice to say, 31 is quite a bit. And of those 31, there are 5 that really stick out in terms of devastation and scale, being referred to as the Big Five. These, according to most, refer to the worst extinction events the world has ever seen, with each one being responsible for the eradication of at least 50% of all species. Of these 5, the most famous and talked about is by far the KT extinction event, better known as the day the dinosaurs died. This extinction was heralded by a giant asteroid that struck Earth with a force of 10 billion World War II atomic bombs, bringing the reign of the dinosaurs to a close and killing roughly 75% or more of every single species alive at that moment. It's often regarded as being the most sudden mass extinction event to have ever occurred, with most of the deaths happening pretty much on day 1. And to many, namely the mainstream public, it's the worst event life has ever endured. But this isn't really the case, because of the big 5 extinction events, the KT extinction was not the deadliest, and perhaps surprisingly, it's not even close to being number 1, as that title goes to an event that saw so much life die, that it took Mother Nature about 5 times longer to fully recover from it than it did following the asteroid. This was the Permian-Triassic extinction, also known as the Great Dying. To go back and witness this apocalyptic event, you'd have to travel a mind-numbing amount of time into the past, approximately 251.9 million years to be exact, which would have brought you to the final days of the Permian period. Even before the Great Dying had begun, things weren't going so well. For starters, the world was still recovering from yet another extinction event that had taken place about 10 million years prior, the Capetanian extinction, which had decreased species richness and contributed to a major decline in sea levels. On top of this, the general state of the climate was quite messed up as well, as Earth was significantly hotter than it is today, and near the equator, it's thought that the temperature could sometimes soar to around 74 degrees Celsius or 165 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to literally cook a chicken. And thanks to the geography of Pangaea, with nearly every landmass being strung together, large swathes of land were simply inhospitable and brutally dry. And to add fuel to the fire, there was also a giant mountain range that cut across the supercontinent, which deprived many areas of rain, and thus creating pockets of death and contributing to major droughts. Therefore, it's fair to say that simply staying alive was not a walk in the park. So it definitely was not helpful when the Great Dying suddenly sprung up and took out the vast majority of life. For a long time, paleontologists were aware that something unprecedented happened during the end of the Permian, but no one knew exactly what had transpired, and many different ideas were thus put forth, including asteroid impacts, interstellar dust storms, and even that the weather was just that brutal. It wasn't until very recently that paleontologists finally came to the conclusion that the perpetrator all along had been volcanic eruptions, though these ones were unlike anything ever experienced by humanity, and its mark on the Earth can still be clearly seen today, in a place not really associated with volcanoes, Russia. It's there that you can find the Siberian Traps, a sprawling region of volcanic rock that covers an area equal to 68% of Europe's total landmass, and is believed to be the byproduct of the very eruptions that created the worst extinction event ever. And the scale of such eruptions would have been hard to comprehend, with estimates suggesting that they were around 4 million times larger than the Mount St. Helens eruption, and that they even outclassed Yellowstone's largest discharge, having spewed out 4,000 times the ejected volume. And if the Siberian Traps had been located in the US, the lava flows alone would have covered the entire country in a layer of magma 3 times the height of the Empire State Building. At this point, you may be imagining some sort of eruption scene straight out of the movie 2012, but the eruption of the Siberian Traps wasn't actually all that violent, and would have been instead more gentle but persistent and massive, with consistent giant lava flows that took place over an extended period of time. And when I say time, I'm not talking about a few years or even a few decades, but rather hundreds of thousands of years, possibly millions, with the most recent estimates suggesting a duration of around 200,000 years. During this time, the eruptions slowly turned Earth into a literal hell, putting extreme pressure on all that lived. Of course, those closest to the eruptions got the shortest end of the stick, and in the worst case, could have been completely encircled by the lava, as there is a chance that Siberia was actually detached from the rest of the world, and thus, given just how much lava was released, animals marooned in Siberia might have found themselves slowly overwhelmed as the sea of lava spread out and engulfed the entire landmass, incinerating everything in its path, with the temperature of the lava flows reaching up to 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,200 degrees Celsius, hotter than a cremation chamber. Although, with that said, animals in Siberia likely would have died well before the lava ever reached them, as the eruptions led to a drastic increase in forest fires that were so rampant that they have been inferred in the extinctions of specific genera, such as the seed plant Gigantopterus. And we know because of fossil records that many Gorgonopsids and Therapsids would have been severely affected as well, due to their high presence in Permian Siberia. But the rest of the world was by no means off the hook, because as the eruptions prolonged, their deadly effects became universal, with no corner of the earth being untouched. And yet ironically, it wasn't the constant lava flows per se that brought their devastation, but rather, it was the result of what the eruptions released. As throughout this ordeal, volcanoes were letting out untold amounts of carbon dioxide, ash, sulfur, and chlorine, among other materials as well, which together contributed to well over 200,000 gigatons of erupted material. In other words, more than 1,000 times the weight of Mount Everest. And this sheer volume led to not just one, but multiple disastrous effects, and each one likely could have been considered an extinction event within its own right. So, it really couldn't get much worse than this. Yet, in typical fashion, it did. And it actually got so much worse, as the eruptions happened to take place in the worst location possible, as they were situated right above huge amounts of combustible organic material and vast coal belts. It's not 100% confirmed, but the idea is that the eruptions eventually infiltrated and set alight these coal fields and material, which brought even more carnage upon the world. What's interesting, though, is that studies on this disaster indicate that it was not a progressive extinction, in that it slowly got worse and worse, but rather it had its ups and downs, with distinct nightmarish pulses where the majority of the dying occurred. During these quote-unquote pulses, Earth was basically transformed into an unrecognizable wasteland, where animals endured and suffered in many ways. And if you somehow found yourself transported back then, you'd quickly realize that nothing was okay. But what would have probably stuck out the most was the extreme heat. As mentioned, the late Permian was already very hot, and yet the Siberian traps brought these temperatures to a new height, as the gases and abundant wildfires warmed the atmosphere, resulting in a global average surface temperature of above 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And to just put that into perspective, the current global average is just 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So far, no conclusive study has suggested just how hot the equatorial regions could have gotten. But considering the equator today is about 100% hotter than the average, it's not a pretty thing to imagine. And imagining what would have happened to humanity if they experienced such temperatures is another very ugly thought, as we have tended to fare quite poorly when dealing with such extremes. For example, in 2010, Russia experienced a heat wave that brought the average temperature for the month of July up to 30 degrees Celsius or 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And while these highs did not last long, the heat still resulted in over 50,000 deaths. Additionally, the hottest place on Earth, the town of Dalal in Ethiopia, doesn't even reach the Permian average, as it stands at around 35 degrees Celsius or 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And despite many attempts, the town, or rather ghost town, does not have a permanent population, as every attempt to establish a full-time settlement has failed due to sheer heat. Therefore, it's safe to assume that we would not last long, and without any coverage, someone could very likely experience death within less than 24 hours. This heat would have also contributed to forest fires separate from the ones created by the lava flows. In fact, fires started by the heat are actually believed to have been directly responsible for destroying the very last remnants of coal swamps, which had at one time been the dominant ecosystem on Earth. The forest fires and heat also wound up making another existing problem much worse: aridification, as slowly but surely, much of the world turned into a shrubland or desert biome, and there could even be hundreds of miles in any direction without sufficient fresh water, with some studies even proposing that the aridity was the main killer of terrestrial vertebrates during this event. But the world turning into one giant desert still wasn't the full picture, as even if you managed to find shelter, you'd still have to deal with the constant spewing of noxious gases that slowly suffocated the world, with oxygen plummeting at the very end of the Permian to around 15%, which is by many standards low enough to harm humans, as despite the atmosphere currently being at 21%, it only takes a drop to 19.5% to render us oxygen deficient. And things were actually more grim for Permian animals, as many were accustomed to very high oxygen levels, as the Permian had at one point seen an oxygen percentage as high as 30%. It's also very likely that there would have been moments where the oxygen dropped even lower, which highly implies that any animal that did survive must have been located in low altitudes. In one interesting study, actually took estimated oxygen levels from around that time and used them to overlay a map of present-day Earth to see exactly where animals would have had a chance of at least surviving from a breathing standpoint, with the red areas representing land where life was unsuitable, while the green areas represent places where life could maybe be supported. Between burning to a crisp and choking to death during the end days of the Permian, you may not have had the opportunity to acknowledge yet another pleasantry of this extinction event. Radiation. Lots and lots and lots of radiation. Because it wasn't only life that was being banged up by the eruptions. Specifically, the massive amounts of halogens being released ended up causing a severe chemical depletion of the stratospheric ozone layer, leading to massive spikes in ultraviolet radiation. The very same radiation that can give you sunburns or skin cancer today. And you would have needed buckets of suntan lotion to stay safe, as studies estimate that ultraviolet radiation may have ballooned by 400% at the equators, while the polar regions, they could have seen an obscene increase in radiation of 5,000%, meaning that simply standing outside for a day would kind of be like being trapped inside of a tanning bed for 4 days straight. At this level, the radiation was so potent that it even left direct evidence behind, as researchers discovered that plant spores from the extinction event were mutated due to the UV radiation. And currently it's thought that the majority of these plants actually died because of these mutations. But it wasn't just forest fires and radiation that flora had to worry about, as the eruptions subsequently led to a rampant dust cloud that highly disrupted photosynthesis, and acid rain that caused soil erosion. So clearly, life on land got it rough, yet things were not much better in the water. In fact, marine life actually suffered worse, and the waters got so heated during the volcanic activity that the average surface temperature rivaled the temperatures seen in commercial jacuzzis. And again, you had all the other effects to worry about too, as the oceans dealt with drops in oxygen, high radiation near the surface, and ocean acidification. And this acidity was way worse underwater, as the oceans and seas absorbed more of the emissions, leading to more permanent conditions and a greater drop in pH levels, with studies indicating that in certain areas, the waters were about 32% more acidic than they are today. This increased acidity is thought to have played a huge role in killing vast amounts of marine life worldwide. And its deadliness was not helped at all by the warm water temperatures that made the acidity all that more reactive. You'd think that after naming over 5 different ways that the Permian extinction could kill you, that the list would come to an end. Yet this extinction still had some sinister tricks up its sleeve, so to speak, with one of the scariest things having been the hypercanes, also known as super hurricanes. Now, this is more of a hypothetical event, but the idea is that if sea temperatures reached around 50 degrees Celsius, or 122 degrees Fahrenheit, then an extreme class of cyclone could form, which would have been so violent that it would have brought untold devastation to both terrestrial and aquatic environments. And while the average temperature did not hit this threshold during the Great Dying, fluctuations in hotspots very well could have, leading to the creation of hypercanes that may have grown to be larger than the biggest storms on record, and if over the mainland US, would have covered half of the country. And it wasn't just their potential size that was terrifying, as hypercanes had much stronger winds than normal storms, with a strong one possibly attaining sustained winds of over 800 kilometers or 500 miles per hour, fast enough to completely erase reinforced concrete structures and unroot any kind of tree with ease. And these larger hypercanes could likely bring devastation to areas larger than certain continents if on the right path. And even if they did miss you, you were not completely safe, as they were so powerful that their very movements alone were enough to damage the ozone, and create dust clouds large enough that they had a noticeable impact on the climate. And on top of all of this, thanks to their central pressure, hypercanes would have had a ridiculous lifespan too, lasting for at least several weeks. and if trapped inside one, it would be like standing at 3,000 meters or 9,800 feet in elevation, due to the barometric pressure. So you'd have that problem to worry about too. Though, to be honest, I doubt you'd notice, as the wind would likely kill you before you could even register the atmospheric difference. Naturally, with all these problems, the Permian extinction was an absolutely terrifying and catastrophic event, made even more grisly by the notion that this all went on for thousands and thousands of years on end. And when the dust finally did settle, almost nothing remained. And the few who did survive found themselves in an empty and permanently changed world. There is no doubt that all of the big 5 extinction events have been bad, but the Great Dying really took things to the next level, especially when it came to the pure numbers, as some studies suggest that up to 96% of all species died, making it 10% worse than the second deadliest extinction we know of. And while this number is definitely a crazy one, it doesn't do a great job at showcasing just how much worse it was than the other mass extinctions, with a better statistic being the amount of biological families that went extinct, as around 57% were fully eradicated, which may not sound as bad as the 96%, it definitely is once you consider that the second worst extinction, which saw a species loss of 86%, only witnessed the disappearance of 27% of families, so less than half as bad. And to put this into perspective of the KT extinction, the dinosaurs extinction was not even close to as bad, as the Earth only lost 17% of biological families. And because the Permian extinction was the deadliest ever, it's no surprise that many well-known and then thriving groups vanished. On land, the Gorgonopsids, Meganisoptera, Vigeltosauridae, and Paraeosauromorpha were among the most iconic groups that died off, while lesser-known victims included many families of temnospondyls and untold amounts of therapsids. In the water, the situation was even grimmer, and notable victims included the blastoids and acanthodians, the latter of which are commonly referred to as the spiny sharks. The world also saw the loss of sea scorpions, who at various times in history had been the primary apex predators in the waters. And on top of that, the well-known trilobites succumbed as well. Quite the historic loss, as these guys were a symbol of success and persistence, and had existed for over 250 million years at the time, surviving 2 other mass extinctions, and were represented by over 22,000 species, making them one of the most diverse, if not the most diverse, now extinct group of animals to have ever lived. And while extinction was the worst fate an animal could have suffered, it doesn't necessarily mean that the survivors were much luckier, as virtually every group who survived still took extreme losses, with the majority having experienced an extinction rate of over 95%. And for some, the damage proved too severe, and despite initially surviving, they wound up going extinct not much later. An example of this can be seen in the Chaetognathidae, one of the most successful families to have existed during the late Permian. They, like some others, had originally managed to survive, but were reduced to only a handful of genera, and were far less diverse than they had once been, and the survivors also suffered from stunted growth. And while they continued to live on for another 3 to 4 million years, they never managed to really fully establish themselves, with many paleontologists believing that if the extinction had never occurred, it would have lasted for much longer. But ironically, despite most getting a bad deal out of this event, there were a tiny handful that actually benefited from it in the long run, namely the Lystrosaurus, a rather small, unassuming dicynodont. Like most, it came within the brink of extinction, but managed to persist thanks to its burrowing talents, and possibly its ability to hibernate, which might have allowed it to survive in greater numbers than its competitors. Therefore, once the worst was over, and it found itself in an empty world, it began to rapidly recover and diversify, and within a shockingly short amount of time, the Lystrosaurus became the most dominant animal in the Triassic Pangaea. At its peak, the Lystrosaurus accounted for 95% of all vertebrates on land, a feat that no other animal has ever achieved, technically making it the most successful vertebrate of all time, at least in a certain way. Yet despite this accomplishment, life still wasn't easy for this new king, as the Great Dying had left the world in an abominable state, with extreme heat and aridity still being a massive problem that would continue for millions of years after, with some studies even reporting that subsequent extinction events tied to the Great Dying likely happened well after the Permian had came to a close. Overall, the carnage and chaos that the Great Dying had wrought was no doubt beyond anything ever experienced before or after, and recovery ended up being an extremely slow process, as it took life approximately 50 million years to fully recover, meaning that for the entire duration of the Triassic, nature was still picking up the pieces. And for 5 million of those 50 million years, it's believed that there were virtually no animals at the top of the food chain. A strange idea to think about. But alas, things did eventually stabilize, and the world once again became a place filled with life, with the early Jurassic being about when you could no longer tell that a great catastrophe had taken place. And hopefully for both Mother Nature and our sake, no such event will ever take place again. Thanks for watching, and until next time, on Extinct Zoo.
You guys are fucked now, dude.
and welcome to the 95th episode of Analyzing Evil, featuring Jimmy McGill, the man of many names, from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, a smooth-talking con man who got...
Can't be playing like that. We're just gonna close combat. I haven't down.
Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. I saw this and we had to. Abu, I mean, he's now known a lot more in the community for his goofiness and his silliness after the Only for Genius arc, which, I mean, I guess is, it got so big it's gonna be like an iFunny meme. Yeah, dude. 10 years from now, there's gonna be really bad quality, like, memes. Only for Genius with Beast Gohan. But Abu is a silly guy. Heart of gold, but a real silly guy. Real funny. Unintentionally funny. He's very goofy. I love him. So we know this is gonna be good. This will be fun. Legends, Dokkan, and Naruto. This is right up my alley, so we gotta. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's jump in. Let's see what the nonsense is gonna look like here. Okay. Alright, first one. Obviously people were gonna be probably rowdy about this one. Best event to evaluate how well a unit will perform, see how far they reach. Beating the event would be the best outcome. Here's the thing about the event. It's one of these things, I mean, for now, I do think this is kind of the standard. This is the hardest fight. I mean, this is where we could really see, like, how tough stuff is, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, that's, you know, remember, it is for now. I mean, if Tanabata shows up, and, I mean, we get the hardest fight in Dokkan history that lasts really one turn or something like that, you know, who knows? They always will kind of, like, switch things up and stuff like that. Right now it is. I mean, you know, a lot of people are going to still push back and stuff like that, but, I mean, I don't think anything is changing until, you know, almost July 1st. So, you know, buckle in. We're going to be here for a little while. Ultra Cell is the first best well-designed character in its rarity. Well, I mean, he is the best Ultra. Is the first best well-designed character. There's a bit of a Alright. I'm gonna just put Cell as probably the best Ultra, and we'll move on. We'll move on. See what else we got. Tsunade and Sarutobi should have fought one of the Akatsuki members. Well, especially Pain and Itachi, since they both infiltrated the Hidden Leaf during their reign. I mean, Tsunade, I mean, she kinda fought Pain. Sorta. I mean, she did use basically all of her chakra to defend the village, right? With, oh damn, what's the slug called? Oh no, dude. Katsuya. Right, like she basically uses everything she's got to try and defend people as much as they can, from, Pain. The old-ass third Hokage, I mean, is he not getting sauced up by Pain and Itachi? I mean, well, okay, so, like, Itachi, like, he first shows up after the third Hokage dies, right? Like, that is Itachi, like, he's, like, what? Is he even sick at that point? Because, I mean, that's years before Shippuden. I don't know, man. What? Is the third Hokage taking Itachi, like, okay, when Itachi shows up in Leaf Village, like, is the third Hokage taking Itachi? I feel like I'm probably leaning towards Itachi, but I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. But I don't know. You know what? I'm fine the way things went in Naruto. No, instantly no. Tech UI's value has risen post-anniversary. Fuck no. Where most bosses have dodge cancellation. However, the community, mainly global players, what? Either don't have them or have them 55%, whereas build isn't optimal in the hard fights. Brother, this guy is like a fish, man. Like, this character is a fish. Like, this... His value has risen? Hell no, it hasn't. Because he dies a lot more often after the anniversary. I mean, you can't run him in Festival. I mean, Abu right here is saying this event is the best event. Tech UI Goku is not an option in there. So... I'm not a super fan of running him in the other fights, too. Because here's the thing about Tech UI Goku, right? I think, like, people... Something will be true about a character, right? So, when Tech UI Goku came out, what was true about him? The first turn in his transformed state, he was, like, the pinnacle of the game or something like that. Like, you know, like, what, like, June 30th, 2024. This guy, like, when he comes out, he's, like, the pinnacle. Now, bro, he doesn't even tickle the bosses. He's not even tickling them. These bosses with hundreds of millions of HP, he can't do nothing to them on his first turn, where he has 100% dodge. And then afterwards, he reverts right back into fish mode. I don't know, dude. I'm not... no. I don't... Listen, if I did a top LR list, we're going deep before I get to Tech UI Goku at this point. He's probably not in my top 20 LRs. 25, maybe? I don't know. No way. I'm taking Bardock over him, man. Like, I'm taking this Bardock over Tech UI easily. Things change. One thing you can't do is you can't be a prisoner of the moment, like, forever with a character. Right? Like, you know, Beast Gohan once upon a time was the strongest character in Dokkan history. Is he right now? No. Right? Like, things change. Gotta be ready to adapt. Okay, so we're back to Legends. I mean, I follow No, I don't. Listen, if I did a top LR list, we're going deep before I get to Tech UI Goku at this point. He's probably not within my top 20 LRs. 25, maybe? I don't know. No way. I'm taking Bardock over him, man. Like, I'm taking this Bardock over Tech UI easily. Things change. One thing you can't do is you can't be a prisoner of the moment, like, forever with a character. Right? Like, you know, Beast Gohan once upon a time was the strongest character in Dokkan history. Is he right now? No. Right? Like, things change. Gotta be ready to adapt. Okay, so we're back to Legends. I mean, I follow Legends close, but I don't play it, so. Characters this year for the game are the best it's looked compared to the previous years. I don't know. I mean, this guy's not particularly fun, Mr. Green Card Spam. I mean, you do need a character with multiple lives, right, for Resin Rush. Especially with Ultra Cell running around, it just has permanent endurance cancel. Like, do people even run Fusion Zamasu? I don't. Does this character get run? I don't know. One thing I would say as someone not playing but following close, I'm very glad Legends just dropped, like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and I hope they just continue to like, bring the heat leading into the anniversary for Legends. Because one thing Legends did, it was leading into the festival last year, a couple months ago. It's just, like, I feel like they have done like, Dokkan will do this too, where they'll do, like, kind of like the pre-major celebration, like lull or down period. But, like, Legends feels like they do, like, multiple months of it, which is no good. So, like, I mean, getting Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta out, getting Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, I feel like this is good. You know, kind of, like, don't have things be completely dead, people completely uninterested in the game going into the anniversary, right? So. Kabuto should have been killed by Four Tails Naruto. Wait, but Kabuto... Wait, had a huge emphasis on the war being a thing because of The Edo Tensei. Orochimaru would have taken. He just would have taken his spot. Itachi still uses Izanagi. Okay, but what? Why Orochimaru instead of Kabuto? Because Orochimaru is more of a villain. Kabuto should have been killed by Four Tails Naruto. So he's talking about the Tensai Bridge. Is that what it's called? The bridge? The bridge arc? Like when Naruto fights Orochimaru in... Isn't he using Three Tails during that? No, I guess he is using Four Tails, right? Oh man, I gotta refresh myself on Naruto. Look at this. How can I judge these? I gotta refresh myself, bro. Whoa. I'm crazy, man. I mean, one thing... Listen, I'll say this. One of my biggest issues with Naruto is I hate Orochimaru's character arc. They don't really, redeem him, but, I am not a fan of what they do with Orochimaru whatsoever. No way. No way. Oh, wait, by the way. Okay, so Kabuto's gone, right? Orochimaru takes his place. Itachi Izanagi's in. Who the fuck gets the Hokages on the battlefield? He'd aid by bringing back the 4 Hokages. Come on, Abu. That messes the... it would change the flow of it. Because Kabuto... so you mean Orochimaru would just, instantly break out of the Izanagi? Because Kabuto does break out of it, but it's quite a bit later. He shows up on the battlefield to heal Sasuke. The Hokages have been fighting for 30 episodes already, right? Dozens of chapters. I like it better. This rewrite, I'm taking what they did. Although, you could talk me into, Orochimaru feeling pain earlier in the series and getting out of there. I don't like what they did to Orochimaru. Feels like he's number 2 in the game. I mean, bro, in the festival, fuck yeah, man. You could almost say this guy is number 1 in the festival, but it's just what Tech Vegito did. You can't say that, but maybe run to run, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta does have a higher impact or something, but dude, I just Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is so important in there. The biggest challenge with the festival battles. Now I've done video after video. Look. I've done video after video after video in there, right? At this point, I got it. I kind of fully understand the fight. We've taken all these characters in. I'm in the process of recording another characters, but well, let's just say that bad things have happened in the run, and it's all of a sudden I was doing every day I was dropping one, but I've had a couple of issues with the current character I'm recording. Not surprising. And so it's gonna take me a little bit to get that one out, but it is what it is. But it's the problem here. Let's get over to it. Yep, festival battles, bam. It's the Daima phase. The Daima phase is way too tanky because you only have 3 charges against them. The Gogeta and Vegito have 2 billion HP, but you have 4 turns. And once you're against them, it feels a lot more okay, of course I'll use the Vegito actives and all these things against them, right? It is, in order to get through these guys, really without using 10th anniversary fusion shit, it requires a dominant performance by Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which is just all RNG, by the way, and out of your hands. Because it matters, where these guys choose to super it. Right? If you get Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta turn 1 of the Daima phase, and they both super Gogeta, in slot 1, and he counters both, you won the run. And then you use your 10th anniversary fusions to take care of Gogeta and Vegito. But, if Gogeta doesn't get counters on these guys, you have to use 10th anniversary fusions to finish them off in time. Alright, this phase is so crazy. So, that's where, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is up there, yep. Damage reduction, Scouter, but it's the counter. Super Saiyan 4 Goku has a perfect linking partner, 100%. They form a truly dominant rotation. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and the Super Saiyan 4s. They're just so dominant, right? They slice through like butter towards the end of that event. and then like Gogeta's tanking all these, like Gogeta's capable of tanking all these supers. Super Saiyan 4 Goku in slot 2 is capable of tanking all these supers as well with sufficient stacks. Completely outdamages HL Gogeta, however, does mostly support him, but unfortunately, well, it's the count. It is the counter. The counter. Because the counters would allow Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta to outdamage, like, everybody, basically. It's the counter. Because you have, 70 turns of stacks. So, I mean, he could just, like, he could literally drop 300 million damage twice with the 2 counters, and, like, you're good to go. The most balanced, well done. Oh, shit, okay, I'm out of here. When Abu Beast is talking about Beast Gohan, we might just like quickly slide through. Should have been revived. Oof, man, I don't know. Am I crazy for saying the way they did Jiraiya was kind of really good because they never like bring him back or anything like that? Right? Like, that's not true, by the way. Nagato is the only person who knows the location of his body. It's literally not true. Like, Zetsu, Black Zetsu was there watching the fight. Like, that's not true. And they did say that his body... What did Kabuto say? His body went deep into the ocean? I think is what he said, right? That's what Kabuto said? No. I think it's much more... Dude, there's scenes that are much more... Hang on. Yeah, dude, see, stuff like this right here. Like, there's some of these scenes, this shit hits way harder. Another scene after, Obito loses the Ten Tails from inside of him, and, I mean, he's, like, kind of, like, looking there, and he's like, I lost, like, who I lost to was Jiraiya, because it was, Nagato who betrayed me, who was Jiraiya's, apprentice, and then Naruto, right? Like, it's like, nah, no, fuck no. This is Abu. This might be Abu's worst ever take. Ever. No, dude. No. Jiraiya. Alright, guys. We are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So, I mean, we're waiting for Golden Week to start. So, your boy's got to come up with some stuff. Did a video yesterday. Because I felt like, there's many different things we can talk about the state of Dokkan, the Dokkan community, stuff like that. I mean, not to hurt anyone's feelings, but I do feel like, at least the Twitter community has been overly whiny this year, unbearably so. Like, crying about, like, nothing. Is really what I'm thinking. So, I was just, like, comparing, kind of like the start of the year, right? So, like, January 1st, basically up to Golden Week for all the different characters. I was just looking at the main Dokkan Fests and LRs and stuff like that, and it's like, man, like this year is like right up there with 2024. Like maybe a little behind, maybe on par, but like very close. And I saw this tweet, and it's like once you pull in Easy A's and banner units and stuff like that, it's like, whoa, dude. So I went ahead and I was like, okay. Let's zoom in quite a bit here, and let's take a look. So I just went ahead and just kind of created it myself, and I just have like things kind of like spread out, like year to year to year, right? So let's take a look at this. We'll go through all of it. So this is going until Golden Week, right? I would love to include 2025 Golden Week as well, because I think that's where 2025 potentially is looking iffy. Blue Kaioken Goku, I think, might end up being the worst Golden Week character, maybe ever, like in terms of the Dokkan Fest, but I don't really like to go crazy until the character is out, and we also don't know what, like, Part 2 and 3 and stuff like the end of Golden Week looks like, so it's just right up to Golden Week, I think, is really what we should do. If we look at this, it's like, man, they have dropped so much more in 2025, and, I mean, a huge reason is because Super Easy A exists, and, I mean, the anniversary had just, so many Super Easy A's, like, and just more Easy A's in general. Like, look at the anniversary Part 3 right here, right, where, we had the these guys, you know, the anniversary headliners. This is always one of the main draws of the anniversary now. And this year they put Kaioken Goku and Great Ape Vegeta on there. Now, I've seen much discussion about, oh, the anniversary is full of fumbles. Is it? Let's take a look. So I'm focusing on 2025 right now. I mean, Tech Vegito and this obviously good. Banning and Hercule's really good. Vegeta is a little bit less so. I mean, I'm not defending Vegeta, right? I mean, he's okay. But that's it. Then we get a bunch of these characters of Janemba, Gogeta, Buhan, and Vegito. Only Vegito's the only one I don't like. I hate Vegito. Literally, I think I'm gonna do I did a Beast Gohan video, which, well, actually, I might go up after this or something. I don't know. Vegeta, I hate Super Vegito. Hate him. The Part 2 LRs, I mean, it's like, man, I'm hard on that Frieza, but the Goku portion of Goku and Frieza is pretty good. Here, of course, is the Beerus Ban unit. I also think he's quite good. And then we get to Namek Goku and Full Power Frieza. Once Festival of Battles revealed itself, right, as like, that's kind of like the main content we're gearing towards, that plus Red Zones. They're not really as effective as I'd like in Battle Hard and Formidable Foes, but still good. This Gohan is probably underrated, better than people give him credit for. He's a double orb changer. And then, you know, Kaioken Goku, I think, is definitely a character I would consider, like, a fumble. Wow. I hate this Kaioken. This guy, I think, is the worst anniversary character. This Kaioken Goku. Now, I guess, I mean, we could say that, like, Daima Vegeta and the start of March EZAs are also anniversary characters. We could. But, I mean, I don't know. It does kind of feel like they just, like, made that start of March celebration kind of like, right? Like, it's, so, the, wait, no, I've got this is wrong. There we go. There, that's what that should look like. The EX part, I mean, if, back in 2022, we would have had characters there as well. But, like, just, like, kind of like that, like, it's really only the Vegito and Buhan that would qualify for that. I mean, again, you could maybe say Daima Vegeta is, but, like, he's the start of March Dokkan Fest, which we've got here. Keep in mind, he doesn't have a ban unit. But, like, dude, Daima Vegeta is probably my most hated unit of the year. The way he dunks on Super 17 and Frieza, are you fucking kidding me? Dude, Frieza and Super 17 can't shine Daima Vegeta's fucking shoes, man. His boots. He's each boot heel of Vegeta is on Frieza's fucking neck and Super 17's fucking neck, right? And I think Daima Vegeta's the worst character of the year of a premium unit. He's shitting on the previous year, man. Fucking destroying them. Look at the start of March ECAs. Oh my god, Bardock, bro. You kidding me? I mean, this 17, like, I liked them, but I mean, bro, the Golden Week 2021, these guys kick ass. Bro. I mean, Saiyan Day, damn, Saiyan Day is just good. Look, all 6 characters get my stamp of approval for Saiyan Day. Chi-Chi's probably, Chi-Chi might be the best ban unit ever. I think of the 3 ban units here, King Vegeta, Chi-Chi, and this Vegeta, I think Chi-Chi's the best. Of the Saiyan Day characters, I would probably go God Goku's. I think the Saiyan Day characters go in order for the Dokkan Fest. I think God Goku's probably the best, Tech Vegeta 2, and then Kid Goku 3, but they're all elite, top level. All 3 of them were #1 TUR on release. God Goku, Tech Vegeta, Kid Goku. The Saiyan Day EZA, Beerus and Whis were an okay character. I liked them. I thought they were good. Super Vegeta. Dude, they fucking... Dokkan Twitter will fall to their knees about 2024 Dokkan, and I do think 2024 Dokkan right now is the best year in modern Dokkan history, 100%. But the way they fall to its knees and act like it's perfect now that we're done with it is a fucking joke to me. When there was non-stop bitching every second of the year. Now, to be fair, a lot of it does have to do with global and the messy sync, which is fair, right? Because the global sync was very messy. But, like, we're gonna just pretend like there was not crying for weeks about Super Vegeta, because there was. There was crying for weeks about Super Vegeta. It was relentless. People would never shut up about Super Vegeta, dude. I thought that this guy was very good. He aged fast, but I thought he was I was very impressed with his super easy right away. Pat the Power Kid Goku is great. Kale is the worst of the Dokkan Fest here. I'd probably go Topo 1, Cell 2, Kale 3. I like Kale, man, but they gave her nothing. No help, man. Kale got no help. The banner units is comedy. Android 18 clears Catapesla and Frost by a lot. Let's go back up to the start. So, this is something I talked about a lot back then, how good the start of 2023 Dokkan was. And it's like, look, that January, dude, this was the January of 2023. It was crazy. Now, I know, remember, keep in mind, we're looking at the, JP, like, canon, trademark Nano. JP is the canon timeline. That's kind of what we're looking at right here. That's, like, that, January of 2023 was crazy. It was nuts. And remember that, dude, right before this was Orange Piccolo, too. So it's like, yeah. Like, that time, like, 2023 fell off a cliff after we got out of Anniversary, but it was really good at the start. So there's that. The Part 1 Anniversary LRs are pretty much all good. If we're just going by quality, 2023 probably wins out, but that's because both Dokkan Fests were in Part 1, whereas that was not the case in 2024 or 2025. Gogeta and Broly were both very good, though. Right, like it's like this is just all just pretty much W's, right? Like this, like here, maybe I should just do that right there. The banner units, I mean these guys sucked ass. Both of them were trash. Golden Frieza and Hercule were both very good. Both very good. If I had to give a W to somewhere, it would probably be to Golden Frieza slightly, but they're both super good. The Easy A's, this guy, yeah, okay. Boo, I did like. UI Goku, this guy, I feel like history will remember this guy as worse than he was. This guy was really good when he first dropped, man. This guy, like, if we go in context of how good were they when they came out, UI Goku is better than the entire row. Well, I guess Buhan was... Buhan is really good, though. I would probably say STRUI is the best character on that row, with Buhan probably being number 2. Maybe Janemba 3. Maybe Buhan 3. The Anniversary Part 2... So, the Int Kid Gohan was kind of a mess. This Goku, one of the better units in the game. Beast, obviously, in my opinion, is the strongest character in history. AGL Gogeta and stuff like that is good, but, Beast is certainly the best here. We'd probably say Beast 1, AGL Gogeta 2, AGL Goku 3. Probably the Gammas 4. Maybe they're like 5, 6, and then Kid Gohan 7. I like Beerus over the Krillin and Android 18. I felt like the Krillin and Android 18 were a really rather pointless release. Here we're looking at these Easy A's. Oh my god, Tech Cell might be the winner here. I don't know. I know, like, there's the Broly, Chila, and Limo Copers. Those exist. For sure, but... I don't know. I really like Tech Cell. I think, again, Namek Goku and Full Power Frieza rebounded really nicely with the hardest fight in the game revealing itself, which, by the way, I think a lot of people just don't want to outright say it, but they're just really salty and mad at festival battles, I think. I think that's like the major culprit. Ever since that dropped, people are just so... It's unbelievable how fucking butthurt people get about one event in Dokkan, but, like, we've seen this before. This happened with Fusion Zamasu, too. The Red Zone Broly would be remembered exactly like Festival Battles and Fusion Zamasu, if not for the fact that Global got it 6 months later. If Global got that at the same time, that would be a hated fight, that Red Zone Broly. Way more so. Alright, but yeah, this is it. We could see everything. Like, I did not forget characters or anything like that. Like, if we go jump all the way back here. So, like here's 2023, we've got them. There's these guys, and then there's the Banionetsu Sock. There's, you know, the Easy A's, the Part 2 characters. You know, we have the Part 3s, but those are good forever. Like, this entire row is elite except for Kaioken Goku. Like this is like surefire hit. Is like the characters on like that kind of like time slot right there. We got Super Set, like, oh my god, what a nightmare that celebration was. Jesus, dude. So I wasn't including sub. Remember this Saiyan Day? How crazy, dude! They dropped 50 shitty sub EZAs. Remember how bad all these characters? Most of these characters were awful, dude. This guy, it's like, oh my god, a lot of them were just so bad. But then we had, you know, the actual banner itself was super good. There's Beerus and Whis. There's the Kale celebration. Remember, I was playing RE4 Remake when oh damn, that game is so good. Then there's Super Pooper, man, Super Boo. I mean, Super Boo has got to be the big L on that row down there, right? Yeah, and then look how, dude, the amount of fucking crying in April. Like, people are gonna get mad at me for this video. Go fucking do it. I'm right on this. You can get mad at me as much as you want to. I'm not changing how I'm talking here. People were crying like bitches, man. Look at fucking April, dude. Look at April. The amount of crying, screaming crying. And like, compare the Aprils. 2025 clears easily, dude. It's not even close, man. It's just like, when you see it put down on paper like this, it's like, holy fuck. And we just like relax for 2 seconds, okay? And just like really use our brains here, man. Like, come on. I mean, that's it. We got it, man. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think of when you see all the characters kind of just like listed like this. I mean, it's right now. I mean, bro, I don't know. Like, I'm tempted to say 2025 is in the lead. 2023, of course, is the worst. Yeah, no shit. I mean, we do love our God Goku right there. And if we extended this, like, if I'll update this after Golden Weekends, for example, you know, 2023 gets a major W there. You know, I mean, Goku, 23rd Ultimate Goku, Piccolo Jr. Remember, Bulma was a top #1 in the game overall contender. There's no shot that the Golden Week Yellow Canela this year is going to be a #1 overall contender. Like, that Bulma was a major outlier, right? Like, so was Orange Piccolo. Like, we had 2 of those. Like, characters competing with the anniversary LRs like that doesn't exist outside of 2023. Like, the first 6 months of 2023 is the only year in, like, the last 5 where there's characters actually competing with the anniversary LR. Like, it's nuts. Maybe we could say EZA Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is on that level, I guess. Right? But, like, it's not like a you know, a new, like, Bulma, like, LRs, like, that would be crazy. That would be like Pikkon freaking competing with Tech Super Vegeta. It would be nuts, dude. Alright, so is there anything else? I don't need to sit here and rant about this all day long. Is there anything else we need to talk about here? I mean, we mostly have covered this.
Load, please. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's him. And number one. Where's the other one? It's fine if we don't find the other one. That just means they're free. What up? Can't believe I found you guys, man. Where'd your brother go? I need to figure out how to get back. I'm not gonna find this guy's brother. Hey! I have to wrangle you. Dude, I know you can move. Can you, like, not do that? Dang. Okay. Back to playing. Hold up.
You guys are fucked now, dude.
New, like, bull, like, LRs, like, that would be crazy. That would be like PyCon freaking competing with Tech Super Vegeta. It would be nuts, dude. Alright, so is there anything else? I don't need to sit here and rant about this all day long. Is there anything else we need to talk about here? We mostly have covered this. I double checked again. There's like, I did not make like mistakes or something like that with this here. Let's go to the start of 2024. I mean, I guess I could just kind of like confirm my proof work. Oh, well, I guess actually, I mean, this guy is a January release. I guess I could include him. January 11th. You know what? I will. You know what? I will add. Let me add him. Let me add that guy. Let me add him. All right, we have him added in. Yeah. I mean, he was like, this, like, he's kind of like a nothing. Like, he's like a nothing burger type character, right? He is not contributing very much. Yeah, there's him. There's UI Goku. UI Goku, remember, was technically like a countdown easy. I just threw him in the part 1, right? Like, it's... There's that. Then there's Blue Kaioken Goku Evolution Blue Vegeta, Broly Chan Lemo, who we've got listed down. Beast and the Gammas. We got the Banner unit. There's, you know, these 4 right there. Frieza. Haha, dude. AGL Bardock. Oh my god, dude. People cry. Like, I cannot get over the fact that people are pretending the start of March celebration, like, didn't exist last year. Like, you do not hear people talking about that first form Frieza, except for me complaining about him. No one like, people just pretend this shit didn't happen last year. Right? Like, Frieza's not the worst Dokkan Fest of the last 2 years. Like, come on. Like, come on. Please. So there's that. Yep, we got Super Vegeta, Topo. There's, you know, Gotenks. We got them all listed in here. Sure, yep, okay. And then, of course, there's the Ginyu Force, Tech Gotenks. We got them, and then we're going into Golden Week. And then here for this week. I didn't forget a start of January character, right? No, yeah, because we went from... Well, I mean, well, okay, I mean, I guess I could... I guess I should count them. Yeah, they are January. Alright, yeah, let me add them as well.
Are you serious?
Do that.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, dude, that makes... That really makes 2025 competing even harder, dude. Holy shit, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like those start of January characters. I mean, they are more so tied to the New Year's celebration, but I mean, I did have Gogeta, Broly, Gohan, and Cell kind of like marked down, but I mean, those are technically all releases in that year, which is what we're looking at. So yeah, I mean, this just makes 2025 look even better. So I mean, there you guys go. I mean, in terms of, like, characters being fumbled, because this is why it's bullshit.
Can you?
I've seen, like, people tweeting the amount of fumbled EZAs this year really gets under my skin. I've seen that 10 fucking times. Okay? And, again, when you just, like, list it down like this, we find out that that's, like, a fucking lie. It's just an outright lie. Okay? Like, it's just not, like, no way. The EZAs this year are shitting on the previous year's EZAs. It's not close, dude. And super EZAs, I think, add a lot. Because now they could just really, I mean, that's where we see, like, the spamming of the EZAs that happened during the 10th anniversary. Like, you look at this, you realize these kids talk about the 10th anniversary like it's a third best celebration in Dokkan history and shit like that? You out of your fucking mind? Come on. I really do need to do one of these, like, debate videos I was talking about, where it's just, like, I just create, like, a burner Discord, and I just drop a link on it. Like, let's go. Tell me, cocksuckers, why the 10th anniversary is so fucking bad. Okay? Let's do it. God damn it. Anyway. Alright, so yeah. Is there anything else? Or I think we could wrap this up. I think we could wrap this up at this point. Again, the EX part, I mean, if we had 2022 displayed on here as well, there will be more, but yeah. Okay, this looks good. Alright, kids. I'm out of here. Let me know what you guys think of all of the characters kind of, like, lit.
I used to have Joe Rogan on all the time. Joe is angry with me. He has a problem with me, and I know why.
Why exactly do Howard Stern and Joe Rogan hate each other? It's a feud that's lasted over 20 years and includes multiple different reasons, only made crazier by the fact that they used to be pretty good friends. This could be seen during Joe's very first appearance on Howard Stern, where in September 2000, Howard began by praising one of Joe's comedy segments.
One of the best bits we've played on the radio in a long time is a bit by Joe Rogan, who stopped by today, and I want to play it for you right now. Here's Joe Rogan's bit.
After playing the lengthy segment, Howard and Joe talked about how much they liked each other.
A great bit, a great comedian, Joe Rogan. Good to meet you, Joe. Finally have you on the show.
What's happening, man?
How you doing?
This is an honor.
Yeah. It's an honor to meet you.
After which Joe Rogan became a regular guest on the show, until the first incident of February 2002. Howard and Joe's friendship had strengthened in the 18 months prior, so much that they'd spent time together outside of the show. On the 6th of February 2002, the pair flew to Vegas, where they'd end their evening at a strip club. In a state of intoxication, Joe made some jokes/comments about the girls there, done so in a private setting between friends. Although, when they'd record a Stern Show episode the very next day, Howard tried to publicly call Joe a misogynist by airing his comments from the night before.
Then we went over to Club Paradise. Joe Rogan, you see, you try to act like you're above the strip club.
Oh, come on.
How am I trying to act like I'm above it? You should see this guy's moves.
trying to act like I'm above it.
Well, I mean, you're like, oh, these girls, they don't like me. They don't
What are you talking about?
Yeah?
No such thing.
He goes, oh, these whores, this and the other. Meanwhile, you love these girls.
I don't say it that way.
Yeah, you know, Howard, I think you're angry with women.
This was obviously a bit embarrassing, but Joe didn't seem all that concerned. It was the early 2000s, and controversial moments were an expectation on Howard Stern's show. Only as time progressed, Howard refused to let the moment die, and would push the same narrative in a later episode when Joe wasn't there.
Joe hates women. Yeah, Joe's weird. Like,
He definitely has a difficult time.
I've gone to strip clubs with him, and he's like, get out of here, you whore.
In the meantime, Howard tried to manufacture even more embarrassment by inviting a girl Joe had been with in the past to sabotage his reputation further.
He was my first one-night stand.
You're kidding.
It wasn't really a one-night stand. It was like a trailer.
By the way, you were Joe's 350th one-night stand.
That's fine. I learned a lot.
Where did you meet Joe?
You learned a lot from him?
Yeah.
Sweet.
What did you learn from Joe?
Well, after that wonderful one-night stand, I got pregnant, and I...
What?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Joe, you knocked her out?
Are you kidding?
Did you know that?
Okay, but see, the
How old's your son?
I never kept it.
Thank you, Jesus!
Wait a minute, hold on.
Thank you, Jesus!
Joe played the awkward moment off like it was no big deal. However, this was much harder after Howard then invited Joe's actual ex-girlfriend onto the show.
But how did he hurt you? Did he cheat on you? He did.
Joe, what is your problem?
Did you think you had an exclusive relationship with him at the time when he cheated?
This is on the radio for the world.
I did.
You did. Joe.
You're going hard on me, bro.
Joe, let me ask you. I mean,
Hey, enough.
why cheat on her? Why not be honest?
You know what? We used to have huge fights, and then I would.
Yeah, but why the cheating?
And having grown tired of being embarrassed publicly, Joe's appearances on The Stern Show became less frequent than non-existent. Noticing the pair's potential fallout, fans took to the Joe Rogan official forums where they'd bring up the original strip club incident before they'd receive clarity from none other than Joe Rogan himself. He'd write, "My problem with Howard's version of the story is that it's complete crap. I never said getaway whores to anyone. There are a lot of aggressive strippers that were trying to get guys to buy lap dances. Howard and some of the other guys were getting them and I didn't want one. The girls were pushy and all I kept saying is no thanks. Somehow that turned into getaway whores when he got on the radio. When you've got a guy that you respect and admire and you've done his show a bunch of times, you think that you're friends. Then when that guy turns on you and talks badly about you, especially when it's not true, it's a gross feeling. I'm a loyal friend and that stuff means a lot to me. If I had a friend outside of show business and he gave a distorted account of me like that, I would stop hanging around him and I wouldn't trust him anymore. As for Howard, I have no ill feelings. I still listen to Stern all the time. I was always a huge fan of the show. I'll probably do Stern again sometime. I just thought that whole situation was really weak and I didn't want to be a part of it." Having confirmed that the two were in fact fighting, Joe was asked about the feud in various radio appearances.
The alleged feud with Howard Stern and Joe Rogan here. Howard has nothing but good things to say, and he was always wondering why you don't do his show anymore.
At which point he'd elaborate further.
Howard said, you know, Joe hates women. And I listened to that and I was like, that's not true. Like, and I was like, you know, what do I do? Do I go on and defend myself? And then you get into that weird cycle of, you know, like accusing and defending and like, I don't like negativity. I don't like conflict, you know? There's like a whole gotcha mentality over there.
No, that's very true. However, Joe discussing their feud only added fuel to the fire, as Howard then took to his own show to offer his side of the argument.
Speaking of feuds, Joe hasn't appeared on our show, Joe the comedian. So I told you Joe had some problem with me, so he discussed it with Frank Fitzsimmons.
He won't discuss it with us.
No, and you know, I remember the exact incident and everything, and I knew this is what it was.
Vegas?
Yeah, this is Joe. This is what Joe said.
And he said something about me on the air that I didn't like. He said I hate women, and I was like, come on, man, really? First of all, I'm gonna have to defend that. So then, you know, whenever you're defending something like that, it always automatically looks like you're being defensive.
Yeah.
I don't want to be involved. And I said, I'll just be a fan again.
And Joe's right. You know, it's better he doesn't come on because he's built